Okay, so we continue solving this MCQ by solving the MCQ number 3. I remember this is the recording section of my online class, so my student will be asking me some questions. Okay, nice. We solve the MCQ number 3. The set of solution of the inequality, this one is, so you are given this inequality. Let's should I close something here? Yes, and then let me get a new board. Okay, so what is the inequality? The inequality is square root of 1 minus x over 1 plus x greater than 1. Look guys, the main mistakes that the student do is that when they see the square root, they directly raise all the above the side to the square. But keep in mind that this may be wrong, because you agree with me that minus 2 is smaller than 1, yes or not? But if I do minus 2 square and 1 square, it's still smaller. No, so sometimes rising both the side of an inequality directly to the square may be wrong. It may be wrong. Is that clear? This may be wrong, except when it is not for sure wrong when the two quantity are positive. For example, 2 is smaller than 3, but 2 square is still smaller than 3 and 3 square, right? You can raise up the quantity in an inequality, both the quantities to square, if you make sure that both the sides are positive. Is that clear? But I want you to learn what I call using your mind. We will just solve this MCQ by using our mind, okay? Not using any stuff. So first of all, I want to teach you my student, how to use your mind to solve inequalities. Instead of using like procedure and equation like we did for the first MCQ. Let's see that it is possible to, let's say for example, it's possible to solve your MCQ by just using your mind. What am I going to do? For example, let's start by this guy. Can this guy be solution? I start by this guy for a simple reason. My question is that, look, I have square root of 1 minus x, right? What happens if x is greater than 1? For example, if you take 2, I will have 1 minus 2 over 1 plus 2, right? That will be square root of minus 1 over 3. Is it possible? So all the solutions, including some x greater than 1, are wrong. Yes or not? If a solution if between all the solution they gave me, if I see some solution with x including values of x greater than 1, it is wrong, right? It means that this guy is wrong and this guy is wrong. I remain with A, B, and E. Now, yes, let's check for D. What is the next step? I look at D and I say, okay, D contains 1 and A do not contains 1. Yes or not? So I will check for 1. If 1 is correct, it means that A is wrong. Yes or not? So let's go and put 1. If I put 1, I get square root of 1 minus 1 over 1 plus 1. That is 0, right? I have that 0 is greater than 1, which is false. Yes or not? It means that we put 1 in the inequality, it doesn't hold. It means that the inequality is not satisfied at 1. Thus, the solution should not contain 1. So D is wrong. Now we remain with A and E. What is a value that A contains but E do not? What is a value that E contains and A do not contain? No, no, none of them contain 1. What is the value that E contains but A do not contain? 0. Okay, there is 0 here inside, but there is not 0 here, so we check for 0, right? If we put 0, we get root of 1 minus 0 over 1 plus 0. That is 1. That should be greater than 1. It is false, right? 1 is not greater than 1, and thus E is false. So the answer is A. Okay? The answer is A. So we get 3A. So please guys, why am I doing this? I'm doing this to tell you that there are some MCQs that at the exam you are not supposed to meet, but you miss them just because you don't want to use your mind. So please sometimes use your mind. Okay? If the question allows you to use your mind easily, please use your mind, because it's the best thing you can do. Okay. Now, MCQ number 4. So the set of solution of the inequality given by exponential of x squared minus 1 divided by x plus 3 greater than or equal to 1 is... Okay, now guys, when you face something like this, you understand that it's a bit difficult to use the mind, as you have the exponential in the middle. Yes or not? Because basically it's not so easy like with the root, where you are able to say, okay, good, the root of a negative number do not exist, so you can exclude the stuff easily. In this case, there is an exponential, and it's not so that easy to know what to exclude and what to keep. Yes or not? So we try to solve it with traditional approach, with the approach that we saw at the beginning. So it is exponential of x squared minus 1 over x plus 3. Exponential of x squared minus 1 over x plus 3, that should be greater or equal to 1. Nice. To eliminate the exponential, we apply the logarithm to both the sides, right? So we do the logarithm of the exponential of x squared plus 1 over x plus 3 is greater or equal than the logarithm of 1. Yes or not? Okay, now we keep doing by saying the logarithm. If I do the log of exponential of a quantity, I get the same quantity. So this stuff will just be x squared plus 1 over and x squared minus 1, excuse me, over x plus 3 is greater or equal than the logarithm of 1 is 0, right? It is already, this equation we already okay, when ln, when I write ln or the logarithm is the same. Yes. Is that clear? So okay, I didn't repeat the question first. The question of my student was is any difference between ln and logarithm? I reply that when you write like this, ln of x or log of x is the same, okay? But there is a difference if you write with big L. This log is not the same as this one, okay? It is used in chemistry. This is the logarithm. The logarithm with the big L is called the logarithm in base 10. It is used in chemistry. Yes. Fine. Okay. So we continue. So the inequality become. Let me make it bigger so that we can. So the equality becomes x squared minus 1 over x plus 3 greater or equal to 0. Now we can solve. Let's study the sign of x squared, right? So we first to do first x squared minus 1 greater than 0. It's easy to. What are the roots? The roots here are x equal to plus or minus 1. Yes or not? So x, the root, means the value that that makes this equal to 0. Now, to study the sign of a parabola, let me put the roots. This will be -1 and this will be 1. These are the two roots. Now, it is an upward parabola or a downward. It is like this, or it is like a parabola. It's upward or downward. Upward because the coefficient of x squared is positive, right? So when the parabola will be like this. Yes or not? From here, when you draw this, you understand that this parabola, you see that here this is from -infinity and this is +infinity, right? So here the parabola is positive and here it is also positive. But in the middle here, it's negative, right? You understood it? So here it is negative, but here it is positive and positive. So this is the... Can you repeat your question? In fact, okay, the question of my student is, how do I know that it is positive and how it's negative? In this interval from -infinity till -1, you see that the graph is above the x-axis. So it is positive. Also from 1 to +infinity, the graph is above the x-axis. So it is positive. But between -1 and 1, the graph is below the x-axis. So it's negative. Now we have to study also the sign of x plus 3, right? So x plus 3 greater than 0, it gives of x greater than -3. So now we know the sign of this component. We know the sign of this component and we know the sign of this component. So we are ready to solve our inequality by doing the table that we used to do. Yes or not? So the table, as usual, here there is no logarithm, so no root, so we have no condition to set a priori, right? So the condition we will have from -infinity to +infinity. Now in this, when solving, we saw that what are the important points? -3, -1 and 1, right? So we discover -3, we discover -1 and we discover 1. Now the first component is x squared -1, the other component is x plus 3, and finally we get x squared -1 over x plus 3. Okay, we split the table accordingly. Okay, this guy x squared -1 vanishes at -1 and 0, whereas x plus 3 vanishes at -3. Now we saw that, look, I remind you that x squared -1 was positive here, but inside -1 and 1, just come here, between -1 and 1 was negative, then it was positive. X plus 3 is greater than 0 only when x is greater than -3. So here it's negative, then positive, positive, positive. Is that clear? So finally we got that here it is negative, it is positive, it is negative, and positive. So our solution is, we are searching for the value of x for which is greater or equal to 0. So greater means that we take from -3. Let me reduce it a bit. Okay, you can still see, right? -3 till -1 union, because I am searching for positive, 1 to +infinity, right? Now I need to know if I should close or open. I take -3 and I put it. If I try to put -3, I will divide by 0, which is impossible, right? So open. I put -1, I get -1 minus 1, which is 0. 0 is, so 0 greater or equal to 0, it is good, right? Okay. It was smaller or equal. Yes, but we put it becomes 0 when we apply the logarithm. So the question of my student was the inequality was greater or equal than 1, but we reply by saying that applying the logarithm we turn to 0. Okay, so for the same reason you will see that you can close at 1 and you should always open at infinity. Okay, doubts? Let's go back to the proposals. So the proposal is the solution will be D, right? So we get 4D. Okay, nice. So with this we also conclude this video, and next time we continue by solving week number 5 and question number 5. Thanks.